Well, good evening everybody. We're back on another little adventure. We're in the A320, we're at 30,000 feet. Left Heathrow a little while ago, we're on the way into Inverness. It's an evening stroke night arrival. It's interesting coming out of Heathrow and coming up to this altitude. Winds have been up to 150 knots and now 110 knots right off the port beam. We're coming up to top of descent. Today's landing is going to be into runway 23. So we just bung a quick top of descent thing. Just have a quick look here. Okay, 9 miles out, we can pass the message over VATSIM. Inverness traffic, speedbird 9 Delta Victors at flight level 300. Descending initially level 230, then level 4,000 feet over Inverness, approach to runway 23. So, just bring this up, wait till it gets to number 1 and then we'll hit the button to descend. Descent briefing is complete. It's a bit windy down there, there is weather around as you can see. It's ILS runway 23, the details are set. Missed approach is checked, decision height's 200 foot radio. Okay, so hit the descent button now. That's Viva 9 Delta Victors leaving level 300, descending level 230. So 10 miles south of Foyle. Bring the aircraft down. Fuel is balanced, right, no problems there.
4 Papa Kilo is lining up runway 23.
Is that 23 at Inverness?
Negative, there's Glasgow traffic, Glasgow Airport.
Thank you, my apologies. So I had somebody lining up there, runway 23 at Glasgow, and we've also got runway 23 at Inverness, so would have been nice to know what the actual landing conditions are, even though I've got the weather. Supposed to be windy. The wind altitude is beginning.
Traffic, Charlotte 4 Papa Kilo is departing 23 on an Orbital 1 hotel.
Wind is beginning to reduce altitude. Let's open the speed brakes and bring the speed back. So at 25,000 feet we'll put the seatbelt signs on. So I've got the speed brakes out, not having an awful lot of effect at the moment because the descent is fairly rapid, but hopefully it's just going to stop us increasing speed too much. So 260, let's put the seatbelt signs on. Yep, okay, let's reduce this down to 4,000 now. Let's actually have a look at the speed brakes as it seems to be whipping down a bit. Yeah, speed brakes are full. Speed's starting to bleed off now as the air gets thicker. See the snowy mountains down here? switch on the ILS. 1085-234 is correct. Speedbird 9 Delta Victor, passing level 230, descending level 4,000 feet over Inverness VOR. Thankfully most of the weather is to the west of us here. Okay, whack speed brakes off now. That's it, knife has settled down a little bit. So the plan is to do the teardrop approach, going over the Inverness VOR at 4,000 feet. We'll drop down to 3,000 feet on the outbound, and then there'll be a left turn to line up with the ILS. The chart says 2,000, but because of the mountainous terrain I'm going to have a sector safe of 3,000 today. We won't descend below 3,000 feet because the teardrop turn is fine. We can extend it without too much of a problem. So today we're in PREPAR3D version 4.5. We're flying for British Airways Virtual. Been a member for a long time, over 20 years. Started learning the Airbus about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Reasonably competent on it. This is the FS Labs Airbus A320 P3D. Active skies providing the weather. There are some issues today. We had a QNH miscalculation at Heathrow on the way out, and the winds have been pretty violently strong up at even at 30,000 feet. So I don't know if that was just a weather anomaly today. But things are calming down a bit, passing 18,000 feet now. Winds are down to 25 knots. You can see some storm cell clouds here, but they're going to be north of us, so shouldn't be a problem. But we're on the profile, coming down to 4,000. Yep, that's understood. Disengage the speed brake in a minute. 50 miles to Inverness. Passing about 12,000 feet, I shall go to vertical speed and manage the speed and the descent rate myself. It's been a nice flight, looks like a nice evening. Just see if we can make a reasonably decent landing. The scenery is the UK 2000 Inverness Extreme that you'll see when we go in. Landing runway 23, go off at the end with a right turn and taxi to the terminal. At least that's the plan. We're doing shuttle 1468 out of Heathrow, although I've got my own call sign. So looking good. As you can see, there is weather about, but I think we're going to be alright. Looks like we're going to be underneath and making the turn. There's nothing showing on the radar here. Close enough. So trans-level or transition altitude here is 3,000 feet. So 4,500 we will go to local QNH. Speed's climbing up a bit again, so we'll just put the speed brake on, just in case of keeping this under control here. Otherwise we potentially miss this. So change the range now. Looking good. So in passing 12,500 we'll go into vertical speed mode and start bring the speed back, because we need to be 240 knots below 10,000. Well, it's 250, but I'll be slowing things right down so we can make this without too much of an issue. Okay, so speed brake's off. Let's go into vertical speed, and I want to bring this back 250 initially. So Inverness is over here, underneath this cloud layer. The 9 Delta Victor's crossing Nesdy, passing level 110, descending 4,000 feet over Inverness, ILS runway 23 approach. So we're going to bring this back to 240. Okay, put the landing lights on. Seatbelt signs are on. Oh, interesting. Battery 2 showing 0. So we might have a little issue there. We'll see. So speed's coming off. Okay, speed brake's disengaged. Coming down quite nicely. ILS is showing 19 miles out. And the speed back a bit more. Actually, I'll reduce. Reduced to 210. Okay, tank fuels are pumping in. Got 3 tons left on board, that's plenty. Diversion today is Aberdeen, which actually isn't far away at all. Back to 20. It's interesting. Come on, Lee. This is the sea, isn't it? The big river. There's me thinking it was an anomaly. Well, that's cool. Speed brakes off. Just let this settle on its own. So published QNH was 1001. Let's just double check. Yep, 1001. So, passing 6,000 now. 6,000 we will. There's the airport. Okay, 6,000, we'll set this to QNH now. Right, that looks wrong, so let's stick it up. 1001. Set. So it'll be interesting to see how this works. We have a QNH anomaly. That's Speedbird 9 Delta Victor's crossing Inverness VOR at 4,000 feet, descending to 3,000 feet on the outbound teardrop, left turn runway 23. So let's go back to flap limiting speed. Thank you, the cabin's ready. So crossing the VOR. Okay, down to 3,000, so we go down at 800 feet a minute. Okay, so we'll go on the heading select mode now. Bring it back to 180. Flat 1 please, checked. So we're on the outbound teardrop now, and we'll continue on this heading until the glide slope comes above us. We're out over the water. Okay, we've got a 165. Flap 2 please. Come left a couple of degrees. So as you can see, we're just only 6 miles out, so the ILS should show 1,800 feet or plus the airport elevation. Now she's beginning to come up. So we'll go past this point until she rises up, then we'll make the right turn. Everything is looking good, no traffic. You ideally want to go out to about 10 miles, give ourselves a good chance at making a decent landing and not rush the approach. So we're doing fine. It's looking good. That's Pivot 9 Delta Victor, turning right base, runway 23, Inverness. Just wait till she goes right to the top. I really need about 11 miles. And there we go. So localizer armed. Let's come round to 200. We'll come round to 190. So it gives us a 40-degree catch. Okay, approach checks, localizer's armed, holding up flap 2. $160 knots, please. This should hopefully work out fine. We'll see. Might have to come down to 2,000 feet, depending on what happens here. Excuse me. Okay, let's go down to 2,500. Want to stay below the glide slope if possible. There's the airfield and the runway. Should get capture any minute now.
2,500.
Check. Okay, localizer armed. And 9 Delta Victors, localizer established, runway 23 Inverness. Number 1 for landing. Right, I want to see what happens to the vase eyes as we come in, because we do have, supposedly we have a Q&H anomaly here. Okay, it's armed the approach. Checked. Back to 150. Flap 3. Have gear down, please. Okay, gear down, we have 3 greens. Down we go, set the missed approach altitude, which is 3,000 feet. And our VREF is 144, so let's go 145 for the winds. Flat full please, on the speed brakes, checked. Okay, landing checklist. Water brakes medium, ECAM memo is checked, landing no blue. So the wind is actually right ahead of us, so 13 knots. So looking good. So I've set the correct QNH rather than the one that Active Sky's giving me. And we're on the glide. So what I want to do is see what it is on the ground. Speed about 9 Delta Victor, 4 miles, runway 23, Inverness, landing. As you can see, a little bit of snow about. Bay's eyes look good, so we're okay as far as the actual ground is concerned. Wind is light now, so probably good enough for a manual landing. Okay, past the 1000, so let's do that, and let's autopilot's disengaged. Thank you. So landing checklist, gear is down, flaps full, west approach altitude set, speed brakes armed, water brake medium. That needs to be 3000, we are set. Wind is 8 knots.
500.
Check. Just a little bit to the left.
Hundred above.
Check.
Minimum.
Continue.
$100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard.
Okay, down at 1650. In reverse. Speed's coming back. Water brakes off. So landed at 1650. Okay. Directors off. Right. So it's a right turn off the runway. Now let's hit the QNH, and that's a significant difference. However, it looked okay. It didn't look such a bad landing. To see what ACARS tells me at the end of it all. Off, 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 and off. Strobes off. APU master on. Land Delta Victor's clear, runway 23, taxi to the gate. will do. Brakes on, please. The brakes are hot, so we can do that. APU is available. So bleed goes on. Taxi lights go off. Cut 2. Cut 1. $16.50, $16.55. Okay, so we're in. Seatbelt signs can go off. I just need to sort this out. Okay, we've connected the doors open, mate. So we go into external power, APU goes off. Those are off. Beacon goes off. Logo stays on. Fuel pumps and the crew oxygen supply goes off. Everything looks good up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, your portable electronic devices must not be used until you are inside the aircraft. When disembarking, leaving the wing.
And as you can see, this is GSX2. We've got the zombie passengers disembarking and going onto the bus. But to be honest, it's as realistic as you can get. I think it's great. And having travelled quite a bit myself and done this, I know that they do pack them in on the bus. Come on, dear. Hurry up. So doors close. And away he goes. What's the master caution? Brakes are hot. Yeah, well, I've got the brake thing on. The brake is cooling down, so we're okay. So second bus has arrived. Passengers are starting to come off. We had 135 passengers on today, so it's 2 bus loads. Very nice. The guys have closed the cargo doors for me, so I don't need to do it myself. It's very neat, I have to admit. GSX is great. So that's the last of the passengers disembarking. There goes the bus. Well, thank you for joining me on that little flight. Hope you enjoyed it. Just a Airbus A320 approach into Inverness. Scenery is by UK 2000. Weather provided by Active Sky, although we did have a QNH issue here. But all's well that ends well. Fuel left in the tanks was 2.5 tons, which was plenty, so all was well. So once again, thanks for joining me. If you enjoy this kind of thing, please like and subscribe. I do at least one of these at least once a week on a Sunday. Sometimes I do extras like this. I do flight adventures and reviews in the new Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, as well as in P3D version 4.5 like this one is. This is the FS Labs A320 if you're interested to know. And yeah, thank you very much. I also have a website, VirtualAirlinePilot.org. Pop over there and have a look. Visit my site and you can read about me. But for now, thanks ever so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye for now. Thank you.